In my lifetime, I've had the fortune to experience a number of incredible franchises that left a profound impact on me. But among all of them, nothing compares to my love for Dragon Ball. From staying up late to catch it on TV as a kid, to the DBZ abridged years, and finally to its modern-day renaissance, the Dragon Ball franchise has always felt like a big part of my life. And because of that, the recent passing of the series' legendary creator, Akira Toriyama, hit me like a ton of bricks. Dragon Ball has been on my mind a lot lately, and after a lot of time and reflection, I've come away with a newfound appreciation for it. I realize now that Dragon Ball is filled with so many incredible and motivational life lessons. Son Goku's journey really taught me a lot, even if I wasn't always aware of it. And during this reflection, a thought occurred to me that changed my perspective on a big part of the series. That part is the dynamic between Goku and his rival, Vegeta. After all of these years, I think now I truly understand why Goku was always better than Vegeta. Growing up, the answer to this question seemed obvious. It's like Harry Potter versus Draco Malfoy. Goku is the main character and the chosen one. Of course he's always going to come out on top. If you're like me and saw the story that way, let me tell you, we were wrong. Goku being better than Vegeta runs a lot deeper than Goku just being the hero of the story. The reason is spelled out quite clearly if you look for it. An explanation of this dynamic will require a full-on character analysis of both characters with a bigger focus on Vegeta. So if you got some time, pull up a chair and let's dive into the most famous rivalry in shonen manga history to answer the question, why is Goku better than Vegeta? Goku and Vegeta, the last remnants of the greatest warrior race in the universe, the Saiyans. From their first encounter, they were the perfect rivals. On one side of the mountain, you had Son Goku, a low-born Saiyan raised on Earth. He's fun-loving, carefree, and a loyal friend. His techniques derive from mystical martial arts traditions, and he fights with feel and intuition. On the other side, you had Vegeta, the prince of all Saiyans. His fighting style is raw and brutal, and he relies heavily on technology and power level numbers. Despite being total opposites, Goku and Vegeta share a passion that defines them. As pure-blooded Saiyans, the two of them love nothing more than to crush their enemies, see them driven before them, and to hear the lamentations of their women. Oh wait, that's just Vegeta. Sorry Yamcha. In all seriousness, they both love fighting strong opponents, and they share a Michael Jordan level of psychotic competitive spirit. Their mutual love of fighting is the linchpin that defines their relationship in the series. It takes them from deathly enemies to begrudging allies and later to true friends. And while the rivalry between Goku and Vegeta is indeed legendary, for some reason it always felt one-sided. I mean sure, Vegeta gets a big moment here and there, but by and large, Dragon Ball was the Goku show. Vegeta seemed destined to always live in Goku's shadow. So the question here is not if Goku was better than Vegeta, but rather, why? If you take a cursory look at the story, the answer seems obvious. Goku's the main character, and he had to always be the best for simple plot convenience. And while there's some truth to that notion, when you analyze the story on a deeper level, it subtly tells us exactly why Vegeta was always number 2. Now don't get me wrong, in the Dragon Ball universe, Goku was undoubtedly special and a prodigy. But the thing is, so is Vegeta. In fact, there's a good argument to be made that Vegeta is a bigger prodigy than Goku. For instance, at the beginning of Dragon Ball, Goku had a whopping power level of 10. At the same age, Vegeta had a power level of around 10,000. As fighters, they're usually portrayed as being evenly matched, despite Vegeta having no formal martial arts training. And technically speaking, Goku never actually beat Vegeta one-on-one. So if Vegeta is just as much of a prodigy as Goku, then why did his progress always lag behind? There's a quote from Arnold Schwarzenegger that sums up the reason very nicely. Here's what Mr. Olympia and the Terminator had to say about the reason for his success.
I always tell people that you can call me anything that you want, but don't ever call me a self-made man. I mean, to accept that credit would discount every single person that has helped me to get here today. And it gives the wrong impression that we can do it alone. None of us can.
After hearing the Governator's words, the difference between Goku and Vegeta is pretty clear. It was never a question of talent, and it certainly wasn't a question of hard work. Goku is better than Vegeta because he understood how to learn from others. The The last thing I would describe Goku as is a self-made man, and he would be the first person to tell you that. Goku's iconic orange and blue gi usually has a kanji on it, which represents his current master. Everything about Goku's martial arts approach and his techniques from the Kamehameha to the Kaioken were mostly learned from his great martial arts masters and his training partners. On the other hand, Vegeta could be described as a self-made man in the best and worst ways. Although his self-reliance got him pretty far, his arrogance and ego made him a terrible student and a bad training partner. While Vegeta was isolated and only learning from his own experiences, Goku was constantly learning from those around him. As a result, it was impossible for Vegeta to truly close the gap between them, because Vegeta was never just chasing Goku. He was chasing Goku and Goku's amazing masters, friends, and training partners. There's a lot of universal truth in Toriyama's writing. Oftentimes our ego and unwillingness to work with others can lead to our undoing. That's why there are many Gokus and Vegetas that exist in real life. And just like with real people, Goku and Vegeta didn't reach that point out of nowhere. They're both products of the environment that they were brought up in. So now that we understand why Goku was always a step ahead of Vegeta, let's shift gears to how Goku and Vegeta became this way. Like most people, Goku and Vegeta are direct products of their upbringing. Since Dragon Ball is mostly Goku's story, we got to see the entirety of his childhood. As an infant, Goku was sent from the planet Vegeta to conquer Earth for the Saiyan race. Goku was found by his adopted grandfather, Grandpa Gohan, a martial arts master who taught him the basics of martial arts and survival. When we first met Goku, he was innocent and good-natured, but also quite arrogant of his abilities. He changed for the better when he started training under the most important mentor of his life, Master Roshi. During his training with Master Roshi, Goku learned a number of lessons that shaped the man that he would become. But Master Roshi's training went far beyond just martial arts and strength. By defeating his students in the 21st Martial Arts Tournament, Master Roshi taught them the most important lesson of all: humility. With the guidance of Master Roshi, Goku was in an excellent situation for his talents to flourish. Throughout Dragon Ball, Goku learned under a number of incredible martial arts masters like Korin and Kami that helped him develop as a person. He met great rivals and training partners who pushed him, and he encountered strong enemies who put his training to the test. Due to these experiences, by the start of Dragon Ball Z, Goku was already well on his way to becoming a martial arts master. If Goku had the ideal childhood to unlock his potential, Vegeta had the opposite experience. Vegeta began his life as the star prodigy of the Saiyan Empire. By the age of 10, he had already attained a battle power that made him one of the strongest Saiyans alive. Vegeta's early life was filled with war and strife as he conquered planets for his ruler, the tyrant Frieza. Despite his terrible situation under Frieza, Vegeta at least had a planet to call home. That was until one fateful day, when Frieza demolished the planet Vegeta and massacred the majority of the Saiyan race. Traumatized by this event, the young Saiyan prince was left with nothing but a seething hatred and a burning desire for revenge. Other than his two Saiyan lackeys, Raditz and Nappa, Vegeta had no one to learn from. And under the watchful eye of Frieza, Vegeta was constantly being held down and hardly made any progress. That was until he learned of the Earth's wish-granting Dragon Balls. Vegeta finally saw his chance for revenge. By the time Goku and Vegeta met, the power gap between them had shrunk considerably. Goku had reached a power level of 8,000, which eclipsed the power of Vegeta's elite Saiyan comrade, Nappa. But Vegeta was still vastly superior to Goku, or so he thought. And so we entered into a new battle: Goku's humility versus Vegeta's arrogance. The first battle between Goku and Vegeta immediately establishes the dynamic that would follow them throughout the series. Even though Vegeta wins the initial battle, it's Goku who ultimately wins the war. And Goku's victory had nothing to do with him being more talented than Vegeta. Goku wins because of the good people around him. He's able to hold Vegeta at bay due to the instruction of his latest master, King Kai. King Kai taught Goku a number of techniques like the Kaioken and the Genki Dama, which helped him match Vegeta's power. Goku also wins because of his friends. Without Krillin, Gohan, and Yajirobe coming in clutch, the Earth would have been lost. Vegeta's Achilles heel was was and would always be his pride and arrogance. If he had taken the fight seriously from the start, the Earthlings wouldn't have stood a chance. If he had cared about the well-being of his Saiyan comrade Nappa, the two of them could have easily dispatched of Goku after he arrived. But due to his arrogance, Vegeta is forced to flee from the Earth in a humiliating fashion. After their battle on Earth, Vegeta and the Dragon Team shifted their focus toward the planet Namek and the Namekian Dragon Balls. It's notable that until this point, Vegeta had always coasted on his natural talent. The beginning of the Frieza saga is where Vegeta made his first attempt at self-improvement. After his fight on Earth, Vegeta learned that recovering from a near-death experience could lead to a massive power increase. It's a trait shared by the Saiyans, known as the Zenkai boost. As a result, Vegeta entered into one near-death battle after another to increase his power. His methods were insane, but they brought great results. While Vegeta was waging war on Namek, Goku was putting his newfound training knowledge to the test. The efforts of Goku and Vegeta come to a head in their grueling battle with Frieza. Vegeta continued to make monumental progress, but hit a brick wall against Frieza. On his deathbed, we saw a deeper side of Vegeta. At his core, he was a tortured soul who suffered through a lifetime of abuse and wanted nothing more than to avenge his people. Inspired by the death of Vegeta and the suffering of his friends, Goku unlocked the legendary Super Saiyan transformation and defeated Frieza to avenge the Saiyan race. By the end of the Frieza saga, Vegeta showed his first embers of growth. He was motivated to get stronger and demonstrated the slightest hint that he was capable of cooperating with others. In the beginning of the Cell saga, we met a character who would have a major impact on Vegeta's future development, his son, Trunks. We also saw an incredible moment that demonstrates just what makes Goku so great. While lost in space, Goku became stranded on a planet called Yardrat. And being the curious and friendly guy he is, he befriended the aliens and learned one of the most useful techniques in his repertoire, instant transmission. After Trunks defeated Frieza, the Dragon Team began training for the coming threat, the androids. Here we see Vegeta implementing his first real training techniques by using gravity training. But in typical Vegeta fashion, he pushes himself to the point of death while training in isolation. But these efforts paid off greatly as Vegeta finally unlocked the Super Saiyan transformation. Vegeta's self-reliance sometimes led to good results. In this case, his determination allowed him to finally shine as the Dragon Team's strongest member. And it's here that we saw Vegeta's ego at its all-time glorious peak. However, his moment would quickly be shattered, along with his arm and his dignity. The Dragon Team soon had bigger fish to fry with the emergence of Dr. Giro's perfect creation, Cell. During their preparation for Cell, we get another great example of the different philosophies of Goku and Vegeta. To gain power to fight against Cell, the Saiyans enter the Room of Spirit and Time in teams of two. First was Vegeta and Trunks, and then Goku and Gohan. Vegeta and Trunks first emerged from their hellish training with spectacular results. From their training, they each achieved a new grade of Super Saiyan, a more muscular form that significantly boosted their power. Their newfound power was enough to dominate Cell's second form. But in typical Vegeta fashion, he let Cell achieve his perfect form and suffered his second humiliating defeat in so many days. In fairness to Vegeta, Goku probably would have done that too. While Vegeta and Trunks had great results, they achieved these results in spite of each other and not as a team effort. Goku and Gohan, on the other hand, used their training time much more efficiently. Unlike Vegeta, Goku worked with and learned from his son, and with their combined efforts, they each obtained a perfected version of the Super Saiyan transformation. Next up after that was the Cell Games. During the Cell Games, there were two important events that demonstrated Vegeta's potential for personal growth. The first of these events was when Cell nearly killed Trunks. Seeing Trunks near death caused Vegeta to fly into a rage, which showed that deep down, he truly loved his son. The second and most important moment came at the end of the battle, when Vegeta hit Cell from behind with a blast that stunned Cell long enough for Gohan to finish the job. I believe that this was the moment that indicated that Vegeta truly had potential to become one of the good guys. Cell's shocked expression says it all. Vegeta assisting Gohan was him admitting that he had no chance to defeat Cell. For the first time in his life, Vegeta set aside his ego for the greater good. The end of the Cell Cell fight brought about an existential crisis in Vegeta. He had to accept that even Goku's son, Gohan, had surpassed him. And with Goku's death, he lost his greatest rival and moreover, his life's purpose. The intervening years would mostly be peaceful for Vegeta, but at some point he had to finally face his demons. Vegeta's greatest opponent. The Buu Saga is often considered one of the weakest parts of Dragon Ball, but it's the part of the series where I think Vegeta really shines. It's where Vegeta finally takes on his greatest opponent, his ego. In any competitive endeavor, especially in martial arts, your ego can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Our ego is the story that we tell ourselves about who we are fundamentally as a person. In the highest levels of sports, most great athletes believe that deep down, they're the best. But what happens when they face a setback that makes them question that reality? Whether it be caused by a devastating loss, an injury, or Father Time catching up with them. The way that they react to these moments is often what defines them. The Buu Saga is where Vegeta's ego finally reached its breaking point. At first, Vegeta seemed to be making progress. He mellowed out, started a family, and found his first real training partner in his son, Trunks. And surprisingly, Vegeta was a good father. But this progress started to crumble when Goku was revived. Goku often brought out the best and worst of Vegeta. Their rivalry motivated Vegeta to improve, but with a perpetually negative mindset. And now, for the first time in his life, Vegeta was filled with doubt. Was there really any possibility that he could match Goku? There's a laundry list of top athletes who couldn't handle their decline gracefully. At first, Vegeta fell squarely into that category. During a chance encounter with Babidi, a dark wizard with the power to unlock the latent potential in people by drawing out their evil side, Vegeta saw his opportunity for a comeback. And with his newfound strength, Vegeta was finally a match for Goku. Or so he thought. But in the end, Vegeta came to his senses and realized what was truly important to him all along. He held his son for one last time and then made the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life for the sake of the world. Vegeta's sacrifice was his first true step in overcoming his ego. It was Vegeta showing true humility and selflessness in the biggest way that he could. In most shows, a character's death would be the end. But this is Dragon Ball, folks. Vegeta would get his second chance at redemption. And with his second chance, Vegeta immediately showed his new mindset. In their desperation to defeat the enormously powerful Majin Buu, Vegeta and Goku were forced to combine into one being. For Vegeta, fusing with Goku was perhaps even more difficult than sacrificing his own life. But he did it again for the greater good. At the end of the saga, when Vegeta watched Goku face off against Kid Buu, he finally was ready to admit something to himself. A truth that had always gnawed him at the back of his mind. Goku is, and had always been, the best. Goku was better than Vegeta. Vegeta tried and failed to emulate Goku's lifestyle. He started his own family because he thought it might be the key to Goku's strength, but it didn't improve his strength at all. He tried training like Goku in order to catch up, but it was never enough. Vegeta could never be Goku. This realization concluded Vegeta's character arc in Dragon Ball. It's where his priorities shifted for the better. From then on, while they would always be competitive, friendly rivals, Vegeta was no longer obsessed with chasing Goku. He was ready to form his own identity. And although he didn't realize it in that moment, he was finally on the path to truly understanding what made Goku so great. And so, we would finally meet the new Vegeta. The two continuations of Dragon Ball, GT and Super, each gave us different interpretations of Vegeta's new direction. In GT, Vegeta shifted his focus away from gaining strength and towards being a family man. While I think there's some merit to this interpretation, I can never imagine Vegeta just giving up on training entirely. Vegeta's recognition of Goku being better than him shouldn't have been the end of his story. It was just the beginning. This approach is showcased in Super. In Super, Vegeta is still Vegeta. That ego never fully went away. He's still a hothead, and he still wants to be better than Goku. But for the first time, we see a Vegeta who has adopted a positive learning and growth mindset. Vegeta has become a good training partner and a family man. He takes on his first master and wears his master's crest on his armor. He takes on a leadership role and shares his knowledge with the next generation of Saiyans. When Goku unlocks a great new power, Vegeta doesn't try to chase him. Instead, he finds the right mentor in Beerus to unlock a power that's more tailored towards his own strengths. Once Vegeta stopped obsessing over Goku and started focusing on himself, something funny happened. With the help of his teachers, family, and friends, Vegeta actually caught up to Goku. In Dragon Ball Super, I would no longer describe Vegeta as a self-made man. Because of his newfound ability to cooperate and learn from other people, he reaches new and amazing heights. I think that there's a lot that we can learn from Vegeta's story. The incredible rivalry between Goku and Vegeta is just one piece of the grand tapestry that is Dragon Ball. When I look at Dragon Ball now, I see how much wisdom is contained in its pages. Whether it be about accepting our place in the world, how we need to follow our own footsteps, or how the past doesn't define us. There are so many incredible lessons contained in this series. In this day and age, so many of us look towards people who seem to have it all figured out. YouTube is filled with larger-than-life personalities who inspire us to be better. But sometimes, the best advice is found in the places that we least expect. And now more than ever, I'm thankful that in 1984, an incredible man picked up a pencil and shared his knowledge with us in the best way he could. Through his incredible art and storytelling, he shared his wisdom with us and gave us lessons that transcended culture, language, and time. And those lessons and the wisdom that he imparted across the world will stick with us forever. Thank you, Toriyama Sensei.